Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 and change, so I'm a few minutes late, but I guess we got our second leg down. They faked that out to the upside and then ran it even lower, and now they're kind of retracing a bit. So, all right, so we got continuation to the downside for both the ES and the Nasdaq. So the unwind, I guess, is still very much active. So this morning we said look to look to sell strength for rotations back down. We said range bound, and we were favoring the short side. That's good enough. We said range bound. We were favoring the short side, looking to get short against early strength for rotations down, and we got pretty much that. They started off here with a nice little rally back and forth, kind of sloppy start of the day. Then we had a nice little rally going into that London close. A short here at the 74.95 held. And since then, as you can see, we just had all the way down here to the very bottom and then some. So I think we called it correctly, but I mean, it just tells us that the unwind is not quite over and there's more potential selling pressure to come. So we're just going to start off range bound with a bias to the downside going into the overnight, for tomorrow's trading. And we do have Micron earnings. Everyone's looking at that this afternoon. I guess they've been talking about it, so that's going to be another AI kind of a deal going on. We'll see how that develops. If that's going to impact the market for tomorrow. But there's some crazy volatility in some of those names like AMD, Micron, SanDisk. They're absolutely going bonkers. You would know what I mean. But we'll see how it reacts to the earnings and what happens after that. Right now, though, everything is kind of to the downside. AI trade is all getting creamed. The soft, everything is getting hammered. So it's like unwind going on. If you have some money cash on the sidelines, line it up and get ready to buy some bargains. So that's how we get started on the year. Start off range bound with a bias to the downside, looking to sell strength. That's how I would get started. And the fact that they took out the lows going into the afternoon like this is not a great sign. If they close above this area, the 74.20s, we may start off range bound, but I would favor the short side still until I see them start taking out the highs here. The high of today's session is going to be the 74.95s. When that comes out, I'm going to be more excited about the long side. But right now, range bound favoring the short side. They're going to sell strength and adjust these edges a little bit, but they're going to be fairly similar to today's trading. So that's how we get started on the ES. I had no trades on the ES for me today. Two trades on the Nasdaq. One was early on here on the when they started heading higher, and I traded what I said I was going to trade, looking to sell strength. The problem with today's selling strength, there was nothing but crazy volatile. So the Nasdaq actually ran it lower first, and then it ran it higher. And you can see how it tries to snap back on me all the time here. And it's absolutely crazy. But they took out the session highs, didn't quite make it to the 290s or sort of the 920s, backed off, and then since then we've just been heading lower. The two trades I took on that guy, one was early on here. That was the that retest on that failure to take it lower. They ran it hard to the upside to the mean. When it ran up, I was waiting for them to stall, but they were running it pretty hard, so I didn't want to be aggressive about it. So I waited until I really saw it slow down, and I tried a short trade against that rotation. Had a quick break even, was shaken out of that thing, and I didn't do much about it. The next trade I took was after this slop, and when they really started taking that leg lower. Took one trade there, and that was after they took out the low, and the continuation started kicking in. I got in, got out, and that one looks like nothing, but that was a good $35 worth of a trade. So I just it just realized how volatile it is. I wasn't going to be aggressively re-engaging that thing, but I got $56 out of those two trades, and that's okay. That's okay for the day. My target is to make at the $50, the 10 points on the micro ES every day. That's my specific target. So when I hit 50, I can technically stop and sit back. I want to be able to push it a little bit harder, but I'm trying to just stay with that 10-point daily grind. That's kind of the idea, and definitely not being very aggressive as I slowing down the aggressiveness in terms of getting in, getting out, and trying to find trades. Because it tends to be you get in and you get a couple of bad trades and you're down like a couple of $100 and then it just ruins the whole thing. So being a lot more deliberate about the trades. So that's kind of where we are, starting off from the short side. Nasdaq is even worse than the ES. ES took on to lower a little bit. Nasdaq, as you can see, is like really taking it lower. So that's going to be a pretty, it's a pretty brutal session for the Nasdaq. They're down here to 29,300. If you look at capital flow in the Nasdaq, we have taken out this area, the 430s. We're heading down in this lower area. I would not be surprised if you're going to get a test of this low down here at the 28,500. Definitely a good run down into this lower range. So we'll see how big this wind out is going to get. It's definitely not over yet, so we'll see. Eventually, probably most likely you're going to see a hard snapback when the whole thing turns and they ran it up like the whole freaking range in a day and a half or something. So it is volatile, crazy volatile. You really have to have diamond hands sitting on some of these positions. Looking at the bonds, bond market didn't look at that thing. That was nothing but a spectacular run to the upside. So they overnight to the upside. The day session kicked in and they didn't look back at all. They ran right up here to the 114s and then just died. That's been sideways from there. So I was looking at this to get long. I was looking at it right here after the open. I was trying to get long against the 113.30. But as you can see, that's almost kind of late. I had one more run in there, and then if I didn't get out on that thing, I would have just been twisting in the wind. I tried a long trade down here at the 31s as well. I chickened out of that one, and then never got filled. So there you have it. Those are the two attempts I made. But looking at this as hard to believe they're going to take it higher. But when they start moving like this, it's like you want to be on this early, and sometimes you just watch this in disbelief, especially when the market never trades like this. It's like few and far between. They'll catch you by surprise every time. I did a couple of trades on the cryptos today, but basically on the bonds, they're starting range bound with a bias to the upside on the bonds. That's pretty much it. If they take out that 1331s, maybe look for a retracement trade. But right now, staying range bound, looking for a buy for a reason to looking for a pullback to get long, see if they can take it higher. On the cryptos, I had one oil trade early on. That was down here. That was a short against the upper channel. Got shaken out of that trade. There was nothing but sloppy trading after that. I did one silver trade, but you can see how silver crazy that was. This is silver today, right? They took it lower, and then this was nothing. They took it lower, hard lower, right there. Big move to the downside, all the way down here to the 55, 750s. They ran it up to this upper channel. When they started breaking that channel, I mean, I had two attempts to take it back lower again. It did not. It started trading higher. So I tried a long trade here and got a quick $20 out of that trade before I got out at the midpoint here. And since then, they've been pretty much been going sideways on there. But that was a pretty quick trade. So $20 up on that silver trade, and we'll take it. We're rolling silver in a couple of days. So I'm probably going to stay away from silver right now until after the roll. But when it moves like this, definitely opportunities in there. So two trades, one oil, one silver, up 20 some bucks on that overall, right? Back to the ES and the Nasdaq. And right now, as I said, we're twisting in the wind. And Nasdaq is definitely starting from the short side, looking to sell strength all the way up here to the 580s. So getting short against the 460s, the 520s, up to the 580s. ES looking for shorts up to that 774.15s. Above that, we go back range bound. So ES is not as bad, but Nasdaq, that is moving. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it there. So I'll see you back tomorrow morning. And we have news tomorrow, by the way. We have a lot of stuff happening. So we got that earnings report from Micron. We have tomorrow morning, we get durable goods, GDP, jobless claims, personal income with that PCE index in it. All happening at 8:30. And then we have corporate profit, retail wholesale inventories, everything is coming out at 8:30 tomorrow. So a big news dump here right in the morning. And then at 11, we get the Kansas City Fed manufacturing number and a 7-year auction at 1. So that's what we got going tomorrow. It's a big news chunk at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and then we'll see how the market react to it. Alrighty, guys, I'll wrap it there. See you back bright and early in the morning. You guys have a good evening. Later.